Rushmore is a film about a boy named Max Fisher who attends Rushmore Academy on scholarship. Max is a very involved student, I might even say too involved, considering in the beginning of the movie we find out he's on academic probation, and if he doesn't bring his grades up, he'll be kicked out. Throughout the school days of writing and directing plays, running the V Club, wrestling as an alternate for the sports team, and petitioning the school for trying to get rid of the Latin program, he finds time to read a book. And in this book, he reads a quote in the margin that intrigues him, and so he goes on a hunt to find the person who wrote it. After tracking it all the way to being checked out by an elementary school teacher, Miss Cross, whom he befriends and falls in love with, he eventually does get kicked out for poor grades and bad behavior, and is sent to public school. This film is mainly focuses on Mac's intimate life with his close friends and somewhat his father. Rushmore was directed by Wes Anderson and was set in the 1990s, following many of Anderson's idiosyncrasies. The film was shot in a very symmetric fashion, staying on one set for a long time, which in an interview he states that he likes these long scenes because they're challenging for the actors and that brings tension to the screen, which in turn excites the audience. Almost always shooting with the dominant subject in the foreground and background, giving the shots and scene more complexity. With a plot duration of only about a month, Max Fisher changes his life drastically, with the main suspense of wondering whether Max will ever win over the older teacher, and also the plot drama of his big play at his new school and whether it will be a hit or not. Anderson does a great job keeping the viewer drawn in. In the lighting of the movie, it changes accordingly with the mood and what they're trying to portray. During the dinner scene, the lighting was very warm, alluding that the group of friends were supposed to be close and intimate. One might say too intimate, considering all three of the males at the dinner table were interested in Miss Cross, whom was the only female at the table, as well in one of the other scenes, known as the payback scene. It is a rather gloomy and gray skies and desolate streets. With the school campus, there are papers blowing across the shot, showing how alone and sad each of the characters are without each other, and the emptiness that their hatred brings them. Another thing I thought was very interesting was that when shooting the conversation with many adults, Max was always shot at eye level. Shooting at eye level shows a neutral sense on the subject, portraying that Max was an equal and not a lower or higher than the rest of the characters. The way I interpreted this was that all the other characters have their own problems too, whether they have a cheating wife, they're widowed, or in Max Fisher's case, they're just a poor boy raised by a single father. Everyone has an imperfect life and we can all become equals in that perspective. And that's why I like the movie Rushmore.